Good morning or good afternoon for my late sleepers. I thought today we could review phases of the moon. So I'm going to go through each of the 8 moon phases and discuss how much of the sunlit side is visible during each of those phases. Keep in mind, we never see the entire moon because the rotation and revolution are equal. So we only see portions of the sunlit side visible from Earth. The first moon phase we'll go over is the new moon phase. So the new moon phase is when none of the sunlit side is visible from Earth. So when you look up at the sky, you see none of the sunlit side. It appears dark. From the new moon phase, the moon is going to begin to wax, which if you remember means we start to see more and more of the sunlit side. When the moon waxes, it's the right side that's visible in the night sky. So from new moon, we go to a waxing crescent. A waxing crescent is when we see less than half of the sunlit side of the moon visible on the right side. So it looks like a crescent or a toenail shape. The moon continues to wax, or we start to see more of the sunlit side, and from a waxing crescent, we go to a first quarter. The first quarter is where we see half of the sunlit side of the moon visible. And again, it's the right half because it's waxing. Remember that waxing rhymes with relaxing, and relaxing and right both begin with the R. So during a first quarter, I see the right half of the sunlit side visible. The moon continues to wax until we get to a waxing gibbous. A waxing gibbous is where we see more than half of the sunlit side visible from Earth, and it's the right part that we see. A waxing gibbous is almost a full moon. So a lot of times, sometimes we think the moon is full and it's really only a gibbous, so you got to observe really carefully. After a waxing gibbous, we go to a full moon. A full moon is when we see all of the sunlit side visible from Earth. That means the part that the sun is shining on is the part that's facing us. We never ever see the whole moon. There's a part that's always in darkness. So a full moon, we see all of the sunlit side. Once we hit the full moon phase, the moon is going to begin to wane, meaning what we see starts to decrease and it starts to disappear from the right, so the left side becomes visible. So from a full moon, we see a waning gibbous. A waning gibbous is when we see more than half of the sunlit side and we see it on the left. From a waning gibbous, the moon's going to start to decrease again in what we see. So we go to a third quarter. A third quarter is when we see half of the sunlit side visible, again on the left. After a third quarter, we see a waning crescent. A waning crescent is when we see less than half of the sunlit side visible, and we see that on the left-hand side. Again, it's a toenail or crescent shape. And finally, after the waning crescent, we go back to a new moon where none of the sunlit side is visible. It takes approximately about a month to go through each of these phases. So keep in mind the moon is in each phase for more than a day. Following this video, you are going to go back onto Google Classroom, watch the moon phase wrap that you remember from class that's going to show you each of the moon phases and go through the order. And then there's going to be an assignment for you to create each of the moon phases. And there's going to be a few different ways for you to do this based on what you have at home. You can create it using Play-Doh and follow the instructions for that model, Oreo cookies and follow the instructions for that model, or you can create a poster or Google slideshow showing the 8 moon phases. Start with new moon and cycle back. I'll be back in touch with you tomorrow for our lesson and review on eclipses. Have a great day. Keep working. You know you can reach out to me on Google Classroom with any questions that you have, so feel free to continue to do so. Bye.